Hi, thanks so much for joining me. Today we're doing something a little bit different. We are going to be trying on lots of concealers. I've got 2 shades of the new Serum Concealer by Chanel. I have one under each of my eyes here, so we'll compare the shades. I also picked up Apricot. Oh, actually, these are the Serum ones. I picked up Apricot in the color corrector. I have Peach as well, and I have the concealer in B41. I'm going to be comparing that to some Creal products. So we've just got concealer on the face, very minimal look. We'll also be talking about an article I ran across that I thought would be really interesting to discuss. It's called Forgotten No More, Generation X is Driving Beauty Sales. I'm gonna link that below. Pardon me if I mispronounce her name, but the author's name is Leah Nilakandan. Please correct me if I'm incorrect, but go ahead and check it out. There are so many interesting things to note in this article, and it's why Gen X quietly owns luxury beauty. And actually, it really is about how Gen X quietly owns beauty. And this is a $20 trillion secret that positions us as the most valuable customers in the beauty world. And after discussing this article, it might make sense why all of these concealers are flooding the market. I'll do a little bit of makeup application while we talk about Gen X. So I'm going in with the Chanel palette. This is the one in soft. It's newer. I don't know if it's available yet, but it is coming to the market online. I got this in the boutique. It's really lovely. I'm going in with this color right here. According to the article, Gen X is defined as those born between 1965 and 1980. So just taking this brush right here, it's a Rae Morris number 8, really handy little brush. Just a sheer wash of color on the lids. It's canceling out some redness. It has a little bit of a khaki tone in there, a little bit of just a hint of green. You can't see the green, but just neutralizes the red. So just doing this. And for so long, it seems like this generation has been ignored by the beauty industry. Although I have to say, since the beginning of this channel, my objective has remained the same. It's to find the best of the best, really find those items that work for us. And I don't think, well, I think I do get caught up in hype sometimes, but for the most part, I don't get caught up in flashy new products. I look for things that are new formulations as well as things that look like they might be a little bit different than something I've tried before, something that's going to solve a problem. I also said that those with Gen X households account for 44% of the spending in the beauty industry. That is quite a bit. So for this, not a small range, but 15 years, accounting for almost half of the spending in the beauty industry is pretty outstanding. I decided it's hard for me to talk and do makeup at the same time, but we're gonna keep trying. Just going underneath. This is a really nice solution for those who are trying to cancel out the redness too. I used the Victoria Beckham and Trench for a long time, and that's a great one too if you were looking for a cream, but this is a great alternative. This has become a powerful tool in my toolkit to really do a no makeup kind of look, or something that's a really neutral base. Going in with this more shimmery part right here in the center, and then a little bit right underneath in the center here as well. We also spend nearly 25% more than the national average on beauty. So that's, again, a really good indicator of how we are spending our resources and what's important to us. So let's do this. Let's do brows. I'm going to go in with a Kosas brow. This is in dark brown. Nope, this is in brown black. There are several colors actually in this brow product. Brown black seems to be the best. It's got a little bit of a cooler tone. Over the next 5 years, Gen X beauty will grow 1.3 times what it is now. And then over the course of about the next 8 years or so, we are going to get into the trillions in terms of spending. What really caught my eye is this statistic that between 2021 and 2033, Gen X will spend above $15 trillion a year on beauty. And then by 2035, Gen X will spend $23 trillion a year on beauty. That's quite a shocking statistic, at least to me it is. So for the next 8 years, we will maintain the highest spend. Going in with mascara now, this is Givenchy. So with that over $20 trillion spend a year, we are becoming the most important demographic in the beauty realm. So you might wonder why Gen X is in this position to spend this amount of money. We are in the prime spending time of our lives. We are well established. If we have children, they are growing up leaving the house. We're also sandwiched between two generations, not only buying beauty products and services for ourselves, but also for our parents and our children. We're leaning into longevity as well as anti-aging. I know that term is a little bit controversial. I know many of us are very proud of our age, including me, and it's not about not aging, but for me it really is looking the best I can at the age I'm at. And I think many of us are in the same place. And one thing about Gen X is we have brand loyalty. I don't know if other generations aren't like that, but I know that we are like that. I know that people who come to see these videos, we love Chantecaille, we love Chanel, we love Victoria Beckham. There really are a few consistent brands that I know people come back for, have a lot of experience with. So I also like that about this audience, and I appreciate that because that's the kind of customer I am too. I'm not trying everything new out there in every brand. I'll maybe dabble in some brands if there looks like something interesting to try. If I'm not convinced by that product or that brand, I typically don't spend much time there, but I'll try a few things here and there, but I really do stick to the same brands and the same products over and over. The mascara on the bottom. And even though I feel like this eye doesn't look like a whole lot of interesting, I wore this out last night, this look that I'm going to replicate, and it looked like I actually had more makeup on than I had anticipated wearing. It looked a little bit more made up than I was wanting, but still a really pretty look, but it was this right here. And so just a little bit goes a long way. And what does Gen X want in their products? Again, I think they align perfectly with this channel. We want the best of the best. And that's why I've been looking for the best of the best for the last 10 years or so I've been on YouTube. We want to be educated on these products. We seek out high talent to share the information with us, whether it's a makeup artist or a skincare specialist, or even here on YouTube. I think one of the rare and unique things about YouTube, especially amongst this luxury beauty community, is there are some of us who have been here for 10 or more years and have tried products across ranges. So I think that's one of the differences between someone on YouTube versus someone at a counter. Although someone at a counter has a lot of expertise in their products, those on YouTube have expertise across products in terms of maybe not the manufacturing side or stated benefits of products, but their actual experience with the product. So I always say, look for someone who has your coloring, similar issues. Like for me, it's going to be hyperpigmentation. If you're a hyperpigmentation person, you probably found your way here that way, because I'm always experimenting, trying to figure out what's going on with these dark spots here, how to improve them, how to conceal them, how to camouflage. So find people who are dealing with the same things that you are to see what their experience is like. And we also look for a high level of service. I have to say that for myself, customer service or service itself is almost more highly valued than products, especially at a restaurant. If I have great service at a restaurant, I'm more apt to repeat going back to that restaurant, versus if the food is amazing and the service isn't there, I typically won't return. So that's something that I look for as well. I just spoke about hyperpigmentation, but that is one of our main concerns as a generation, because we are at the age where any previous sun damage or hormonal things may be going on that will affect our skin. And it is really difficult to minimize discoloration, to cover it up, to deal with it on a daily basis. So again, that's where I think experience helps. You can see someone else use the products and see how it really works. Another thing we're dealing with is our changing skin, drier skin, and then also as we age, these pores become more enlarged. And so I don't have the dryness issue as much yet on my face, but definitely enlarged pores. It's something I'm always concerned with. I've got discoloration right here, so any products I add to that are going to make that look worse if they're cakey. So we'll get into the products soon and talk about all the qualities that we'll be looking for. Again, we value the importance of expertise more than other generations. So compared to Gen Z, the importance of the knowledge of a sales associate or someone conveying information to us about products is 23% more important to us. And we not only have high brand loyalty, but high product loyalty. If you are new here, then if you look back at my previous videos, you'll see that I talk about the same products all the time, and very rarely does it switch. And if it switches, it's because it's been replaced by a superior product. So things have been making appearances for years, like the Clé de Peau Stick Concealer. That is one of my most holy grails, and I compare other concealers to it. That's how great that is. And again, those flashy new products don't really capture our attention Although I have to say, Chanel has been capturing our attention with their marketing, but their products are also really lovely. So now this is no longer a secret that we will be spending trillions of dollars in the next coming years. Beauty companies are now focused on us. They're focusing on us where we are, what our needs are, like the hyperpigmentation, the enlarged pores, the dryness. And there are certain brands like Creal, who I've just recently discovered. I have noticed reading all the descriptions in the products, and we'll apply actually a couple of products today, that they are very targeted towards this demographic. So I thought that concealers would be a perfect complement to this idea. And I'm gonna give you my thoughts on what we should do as consumers based on the fact that the beauty industry is onto us. I bought, and thank you for your input, I purchased 2 of the Chanel Serum Concealers under the eye. Oh yes, and you know how much I love a good spreadsheet. So created one right here. So on one side, I listed all the desired qualities in a concealer that this particular generation, Generation X, might want. So I found that hydration, serum-based, anti-aging, crease-resistant, lightweight, seamless, buildable, and luminosity was also a very highly valued quality. So I thought it was interesting that Chanel came out with serum concealers. I do have other Chanel concealers, but I thought it was very interesting that this product aligns with everything we've just talked about and the qualities that people in this age range are probably looking for. So I've got 2 shades here. I wasn't sure what to get, so I picked up 40 and 30. Now they look very similar here, but I'm going to try them both on for you, and then you can see the difference. So let's put B, this is B by the way. So beauty companies, if you could make these a little bit bigger, because I cannot see them because they're so small. So if this generation is trying to read these, it is very difficult. Yes, I would appreciate them a little bit larger. They're teeny tiny. All right, we've got here B40. Let's apply that first. So this has a ceramic applicator, so it's supposed to have a cooling sensation on application. And I read the directions, and this one is supposed to cool on application, and it does. You can see a little bit of the ceramic there. It does feel very cooling. Now they suggested to apply this with just clean hands here, so I'm gonna just tap this in gently. And I've been using this for, gosh, the past week or so, just to see how it wears. And we'll run down all of the qualities here and what it says it claims to have for each of these concealers. So this one, of course, is serum-like. Is the most serum-y concealer I've ever used. It's more serum-like than the Le Camouflage Stilo by Chantecaille. I know they've come out with a new concealer. We will be trying that. I think I have a couple shades coming. This over here is B30. Now, in terms of lightweight, this is not only lightweight, it's weightless. It is the most weightless, you can see how bright it is, the most weightless concealer I've used. I mean, it's like, it's a barely there feeling. So I know some of you have found that the one in the pot, which is a very, I've always called it a serious concealer, it's very different than that. That one can be more drying on people, especially if the eye area is not prepped well. Oh, I forgot to tell you what I prepped with. I prepped with I bought a new eye cream. This is the Augustinus Bader The Rich Eye Cream. So I prepped my eye area with that. I ran out of my Chantecaille Bio Lifting Cream, so I thought I'd try something different, and I purchased this. So this is what I prepped with. So far, it's really lovely. Let me know if you have it. Love it. But it also has like a little baton applicator. This one right here. Yeah, I applied it with that. Okay, so hopefully this shows you the difference. Once applied, you can see it's a more obvious difference. The most perfect shade match for me is BD41 in Chanel foundations. So this is again B40, B30. There is a difference. It's just brighter if you're looking for that brightening effect versus this, which is kind of just like my skin tone, but more perfected. By the way, this is an older mirror. I know I had a question of, there was like a sage colored one that I had. I purchased a few when they came out. I wish I had picked up the pink one. I don't know why I did not pick that up. If you wanted to look less makeup-y, then the shade that's a little bit deeper, not that it's deep, but it's like my skin tone, looks more natural than this. They're both lovely though. It really depends on what you want. But less is more, of course. Also, I did notice it will catch on dry patches. Here, let me lean in so you can see. So this is B30, B40. This is B30, B40. And this is supposed to provide hydration. It's a serum-like concealer, the first serum-like concealer by Chanel. No creasing, glides on effortlessly, is weightless. It claims to be second skin, barely there finish. Buildable, diminishes the look of dark circles, illuminates the look of the eye area, and again, it has that applicator that is a ceramic. I've not experienced creasing with this, but again, less is more. I feel like if you add a lot, it's gonna crease, just like any other concealer, but for my purposes, I really like it. It's one of the most natural concealers I have ever used. So I prefer B40 under this eye. We're gonna go in with this by Chanel. I ended up purchasing the Apricot color corrector by Chanel because I have the Sarah Creal in this color, Sorcery, and I felt like peach is not a great comparison. It's a lovely product, but I wanted to do more of a side-by-side. I had questions about that. So we're gonna apply these next to each other. This is hitting that hyperpigmentation concern as well as the pores, because pores and hyperpigmentation together are like one of the hardest things to deal with. So I'm gonna go in with Apricot on this side. And I had the question, should someone invest in a color corrector and a concealer? So the purpose of the color corrector is so that less concealer can be applied, because the idea is that this darkness is canceled out first, so then you're not layering on all this concealer to try and cover it up. Color correcting does work for me. It is an extra step. It can get out of control very quickly because it can kind of go everywhere. So I read on the Chanel site that you can apply this product, or the peach, I'll swatch these all for you, under foundation. Although that's difficult for me to apply under foundation. Oh, I was gonna go in with a primer. Well, too late now. Okay, I was gonna go in with a primer first just to even out the texture of the skin. I did prep with the Kora Cosmetics, the Brightening Turmeric Mask Exfoliant. It's because I wanted a smoother surface. Okay, so then I like to let it set first, and then also let me go ahead and swatch these for you. I'll swatch Apricot. I'll also swatch Peach for you, and Sorcery. And then you can see the difference. Now there is a difference to me in the performance of both of these and the appearance. Okay, so we've got Sarah Creal and Sorcery, Apricot by Chanel, and then Peach by Chanel, the color correctors. Color correctors by Chanel over here. Hyaluronic acid, hydration boosting, smoothing, second skin, easy to blend, diminishes dark spots, soft matte finish, illuminating, and it adheres to skin. Over here, Sarah Creal, velvety airbrushed glow, buildable, medium coverage, addresses dark spots, hyperpigmentation, melasma. It has skincare actives as well. It has a silky texture that flexes. Now that they've set a little bit, I'm just gonna feather out the edges here on each one of them so it's not such a distinct line. So one of the issues I found that I've made mistakes with is I don't let this set, and then I apply concealer and everything gets mixed up, and then it looks orange instead of concealed. So I have to be very light-handed here with this application, just so I don't end up making more of a problem. But you can see there's definitely a difference in tone between the two. I feel like Peach does a really nice job on my dark spots also, but I just wanted to compare these two. I feel like I have to get the lighter color in this one as well, just to compare with Peach. Maybe for a future video, let me know. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna do the same thing over here. I changed brushes. I have a couple of these brushes, by the way, the Sephora. This is an under eye concealer brush, but it works well for this. So now we're going to go in with the concealers. This one is in BD41 by Chanel. It's lighter than the actual foundation though. That's BD41. And then in Sarah Creal, we're gonna go in with 5. 5 looks like it's going to be too deep for me, and it looks more neutral. So this is 5 by Sarah Creal, and then this is BD41 by Chanel. So we're going to take the same brushes. I'm going to take BD41 and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to feather the exterior first. This is a pretty large area. A little goes a long way. I think the biggest mistake that I've made is applying too much. And then it looks cakey. Because nobody likes cakey, especially on top of pores. I don't like cakey on top of pores. Call it the perfect storm. Hyperpigmentation and pores together. I feel like if my hyperpigmentation was somewhere else on my face, it wouldn't be as difficult of an area to work with, but it easily can become like very textury right here. Just gonna use the excess right in the corner there. Have I used peach instead of BD41? I have. Does it work? Yes, it does work. I wonder if like some combination of peach and apricot are the best combination for me over here for the color correcting, because it still has some, you can see, well, I feel like you can actually see a little bit of that color the further back I am. Here it is up close. I mean, it can really, like, we're on the cusp of creating texture. Make that a little bit more smooth. Next, we're going in with the Creal on this side. Same idea. We're gonna take this and feather out the edges. Pull a little bit of that color corrector away. I'm just gonna take the excess and take it down here as well. I'm gonna use a larger brush for the rest of this Chanel. So one thing I noticed is this Chanel concealer really dries down quite quickly as well, and it dries down more. So let me just take a little bit of this. I have an Hermes brush now just to cover more. This is BD41, just to cover more. So if you want to use the concealer as a foundation of sorts, just like the remainder, I just wanted to show you for a demo. And I just forgot I did my brows, so I'm gonna have to go over that again. Usually I will do this before I do my brows and make sure I don't have brows things in my brush now. If I wanted to, I could go in and continue layering. Actually, let's do that since we're right here. Let's just go in with peach here now, because I see a little bit poking through. And then BD41. Okay, so this side is the Chanel side. And then let me finish the Creal. I'm gonna do the same thing and just use the concealer as a bit of a foundation. Just what's left here. Okay, let me just do my hair. We'll figure out a blush and a lip. And then when we come back, I'll share with you my ideas around how to safeguard ourselves around this newfound attention from the beauty industry, because now they have found us. They know we are the big spenders here. So I think there are some important things to think about. Okay, I just went through again with the Dyson, and let me just lean it. It's been maybe a half an hour since I left to do my hair and then do a couple other things. But you can see there, this is the Chanel side and then Creal side. Also B30 and B40 under the eye. Okay, I've experimented a little bit with cream versus powder blushes on concealer like this, and powder really is the best option just so I don't disturb anything, but it doesn't mean we can't use other products. So I'm going to show you how I approach it. I'm going to use a couple of different blushes. So I talked about Chantecaille. It's one of those brands that consistently performs, and I know there's a lot of brand loyalty here with Chantecaille, both skincare and makeup. So we're going to go in with Butterfly, which doesn't look like it's going to show up on me. But we're gonna do that first. I'm gonna mix it with a little bit of Sea Turtle, which has got a peachy tone to it. So just a little bit of that as well. So I've gone into both of those blushes. I'm gonna apply it on top. I haven't powdered, so it'll be a powder of sorts as well, just on the concealed areas. It's just a really pretty color, very natural. Over the bridge of the nose. This is a Rae Morris Deluxe Kabuki. Now with time, this is gonna meld with my skin a little bit more, or for drier skin types, something like the Chantecaille, the rose water would be really nice. Just actually, I can do that here. Hold on, let me grab it. And then I'll show you how we can kind of get that a little bit more dewy looking. But let's do this first and then I'll grab that. Like I said, this doesn't have to just be like this more powder formula, because I loved the idea of these that I recently picked up. So I have here Sorbet and Deluxe. So I'm going to use Deluxe, but I'm not going to apply it. If you saw my last, I think my last couple of videos featured this product, and in both cases it wasn't like the most ideal, but I can always add something that's a cream or something like that to the just these top parts of my cheekbones without applying it here, and then I get a little bit of that glow without interrupting the makeup. So that's like my way to be able to use products that I want to use, like balmier types of products, without disturbing the makeup. So I'm gonna just take a little bit of that here. This is a makeup brush, just right here. There's a little bit of a glow right there, and that's it. Because I already know if I'm going to place it here, it could lift up that concealer, and I don't want to do that. Let me go get a little bit of the Rose de May rose water. Okay, here is the teeny tiny little one. I have it in a set. The Rose de May Pure Rose Water. And this is really a multitasking, lovely kind of product, but we're gonna use it just in the center here to give a little bit of moisture. So I know that dry skin types, it's not like it's a moisturizer, but it will add some nice moisture. It's distilled, so it's not like it's a water with rose added. They harvested only in a very short window of time in May in Grasse, France. Yeah, if you haven't tried this before, it's not just any rose water. So it comes in a glass, and this, I prefer this, the spray's a little bit more fine. I am not as oily as I have been in the past, so I am noticing, like I said, I'm not dry in terms of my skin type at this point, but I do notice there are drier patches sometimes, and then with other skincare products, it can dry out my skin a little bit as well. I feel like we could use a little bit more in the center. Blend that in here. I also mentioned Victoria Beckham Beauty. One of my all-time favorite lip colors is by Victoria Beckham, and this is in Spark. So yeah, just a really pretty, like, not trying too hard kind of look, which is what I love about concealers, because I don't have any foundation on. I have mostly good skin, the texture is pretty smooth, and I don't have a lot of dryness. It's just the discoloration, not just, I mean, if I didn't have discoloration, I probably wouldn't wear much makeup at all. I'd probably just do brows and a little bit of mascara and some blush. Definitely SPF though. Hyperpigmentation, by the way, is an area of specialty for me, because I think I talk about it in every video. It is one of the things that I address every single day with my skin in terms of prevention, skincare, makeup, to camouflage it. So I am pretty well versed in the options out there. That is a video coming in the future. So I'm taking my time really thinking about that and what I've tried in the past and what's worked, what hasn't worked, but I've had 10 plus years of experience with it. So I want to condense it into something that's useful. So I hope that was helpful in terms of seeing the different shades that I have that are available and the different places I use concealer and the purposes for concealer. So it is definitely more of an overview. I am waiting for the Chantecaille concealer. I think that's really promising as well. And then we'll do a more in-depth comparison. And then please let me know what other concealers you would like me to compare these to. What are you loving? But off the bat, I wouldn't compare it to any of the products I used today. I think the Serum concealer is the most unique that I've used in terms of new technology, things that are new to the market, things that maybe I haven't seen before. As for color correctors, are they just something extra that the beauty industry is trying to sell us? In my opinion, it has helped me with color correction, so I don't apply as much concealer, so then it doesn't look cakey. I think you can see here, it doesn't look like a lot of makeup. So I appreciate that. I think they're getting better. And that's one thing I've noticed since I've been on YouTube and since I've been trying so many products. These are some of the better color correctors I've used. I also don't notice creasing under the eye with this new eye serum concealer. I think it's really beautiful. Definitely worth a try if you were interested. And then as for wear time, again, this one, the under eye did not crease on me when I tested it throughout the week, except for when I added too much. And also the other issue was if there was dry skin, then it did emphasize it a little bit, especially with B30, with the lighter shade. So I had a little bit of flaky skin right here and I could see it with that. So just exfoliating really helped as well to prep my skin. And then wear time on Sarah Creal versus Chanel. Sarah Creal stayed nice and silky throughout the day. It was a little bit more moisturizing, a little more hydrating than the Chanel. The Chanel really adheres. So the Ultra Le Temps concealer and color corrector over here really do adhere. That is one of the qualities that it claims. It does really adhere quite well. It does have the potential to be a little bit dry over time though. So just know your skin type because that's going to affect any kind of makeup that is applied to the skin in general. Also, I remember someone saying they tried the Sarah Creal under the eye. Maybe the under eye serum concealer by Chanel might be an alternative because it is definitely a different weight. It is more weightless and it is more of a thinner consistency. Definitely not the density of the Sarah Creal. As for my recommendation based on this article that I referred to earlier and that we are the demographic that the beauty industry will be looking at, will be marketing towards, will really be investing in. As it says in my description, using a wise consumer lens to know that we are being pursued by the beauty industry. They see how much we're spending, how much we're willing to spend. Definitely use those critical thinking skills I think that our generation is really great at. And this audience is very discerning as well. I don't think this audience will fall for any of those marketing tactics. I think this audience does seek out channels like this, channels like my friends have, because they provide a wealth of knowledge, experience. Definitely use what you already know about what you love about makeup, what works for you, what doesn't work for you. I know this audience doesn't go after the flashy new products with these hyperbolic claims. I think we're very realistic about what we expect for makeup, but we do expect a lot. With these luxury beauty price tags, we also have quite high expectations of the performance of these products. I think the most important thing to keep in mind is just knowing that we are these highly prized, highly valued customers in the beauty world right now because they know we will be spending trillions of dollars on beauty products and services in the next decade or so. And just knowing that will help us filter out marketing tactics, strategies that these companies will be using to entice us to purchase their products. And of course, I'll be here reviewing what looks new, what looks interesting, what really works. That is my main objective here, is to really focus on items that work. And I have said that from the beginning. I am at the age where I'm not buying things to buy things. I'm buying things for them to solve a problem. So if they solve problems like hyperpigmentation, blurring the appearance of pores, or any kind of changing skin conditions, I will definitely be trying those out. And I'll be sharing my impressions with you. So do let me know what you think of the concealers and of the article that I have linked below. Make sure to check it out and I'd love to know what you think. And let me know if you like this format where I'm talking about information and getting ready and trying new things. I'd love your feedback. That is it for today's video, so please take care of each other. Stay well if you enjoyed this video. If you learned something, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. The most perfect shade match for me is the next